I saw the thread. Saw a lot of people saying, ooh, this is a throw. This is a throw. This game was a throw. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, here it is. Here. Right. This game, which was Gambit versus Stiffmeister. Right? I don't know Stiffmeister. I feel like I should know Stiffmeister. Like literally none of these players or anybody. Like I feel like I remember Fry. I feel like I remember him, but I might be thinking of someone else. Maybe that isn't the guy I'm thinking of. Link with a 1, maybe. But like I've never heard of any of these players, and clearly this is a mix. And clearly Gambit shouldn't be losing to a team like this. This was in the ESEA Mountain Dew League Season 27 Europe. Stiffmeister wins 16, Gambit win 13. So I was like, this is ridiculous. There's no, this is an anomaly, right? So I expected people to say it was a throw. What I didn't expect all day today, my fuck off you baldy, Astro is beans, so is Lunk. What the fuck are you talking about? Can you learn to type, mate? So anyway, I was like, I know I'm gonna get one or two. I've had loads. I've had emails. Like there was a Reddit thread. We call upon Richard Lewis. Like I'm just gonna come in and be like fucking Poirot. I guess I got the mustache for it now. Like just twiddling it. Like, yes, I can tell you immediately that this was a throw. I'm gonna tell you that just a few things to factor in. Just use your common sense here and tell me if I'm being too wild, right? So first up, okay. Right. If you were a pro player, okay, and you were gonna throw, if you were if you were playing for a major winning team and you were in the ESEA Mountain Dew League season, a league where, it's immaterial to you. You're clearly going through some roster stuff right now. Is this the game to throw in? Do you think people might, are you high profile enough that people will definitely be looking at you? So that's rule number one. I'll tell you from personal experience, nobody is going to throw at that level. It isn't worth it. The short-term gain of one bet on one match for money weighed up against a lifetime of being banned and not being able to compete doesn't make sense. It made sense back in the day because honestly, there was even like cheers for the sub, Novek said. Honestly, back in the day, there wasn't a lot of money, even in the salaries. The highest salary team in like 2014, 2013, around about that era, was NIP for a long period of time. People, I used to meet people who are professional players, and they would say, "Oh, yeah, I'm super happy. I just negotiated my salary. What's your salary?" And it would be like, 800 euros a month or something. You'd be like, "Fuck me, dudes." So people weren't making money. And nobody was monitoring skins gambling back then. Nobody cared. People were DDoSing servers and shit. There was so much shit going on. You could pretty much get away with a throw. And it had to be on a journalist, right? Or somebody had to leak. Somebody had to go public and put it on Reddit or on Twitter or on the ESEA forums. You could pretty much get away with it. But there was a financial incentive. This is before majors. This is before there was money in the game. Now that there's money in the game, right? It's a one-off bet is not worth it. It isn't worth it. Because you're getting a lifetime ban. Precedent's been set. Valve have been very clear. And all of this stuff can be traced. So I will say that, right? It's highly unlikely. Second point to factor in. If a guy was trying to throw a game, and we're going to look at the highlights, we'll look at the clips now. Hatton, I think, put these together. If we're going to, if you're going to throw a game and you're going to deliberately play bad, I mean, what does that say about Mo? What does that say about Adrian that performed statistically worse than you? Are they trying to throw as well? Like, I'm going to say there's still some fuckery involved, but I'm going to arrive at a much more normal and sensible conclusion. So that doesn't make sense either. So let's have a look at these highlights that everyone's, crying about. And just to be clear, betting-wise, this is definitely the type of game you would want to throw because the odds were unreal. You can see here from this image, basically if you put $1 down, you got like $11.50 back for every dollar invested in the bet. So it would have been a great game to throw back in the day. This is the optimal throwing, But just look at these highlights, right? And obviously we'll have a laugh and we'll rewind and we'll look at some of these in a bit more detail. But here we go. All right, let's just boost that. Let's turn that down, right? In fact, actually, I'll go through these one at a time. Right, first of all, with this, that can happen to anyone. You're just going to get dinked by a Glock. If you get rocked by a Glock, you're dead. This is really bad. That's really bad aim, really bad spray. This is awful. Okay? Because, this is very strange. Okay? Because this is like a pro player who wouldn't do this. Or anybody who understands Counter-Strike wouldn't do this. Okay? So, in this situation, this is a guaranteed 2 frag, right? You're going to kill 2 because you've got awareness of where they are. So you kill this guy, and all you have to do is stay on the platform and aim, and you'll see here what he chooses to do is jump, which is crazy because you give away the advantage you have, which is, you pop the first guy, your aim's reset, and you've got an advantage on the second guy who's having to turn around, and the other guy's moving. You throw all that advantage away by choosing to jump here, and you go for the jump. You can see he tries to counter his aim. He gets killed, all right? So on it goes. This here, right? You can see he can hear them. He pokes up. His crosshair's a little bit off. You might lose that duel there quite regularly. AK M4 at that range. If you don't get the headshot first, you're probably going to lose that trade, right? And it's not a disaster because Hobbit's there and he covers it. Then you can see Seized in drop down again. Just bad aim. This is another weird one. He's sneaking, dodges the flash. This is a double kill all day, but just look where his crosshair placement is. That is so far away from where you want to place the crosshair. That is where you want to start shooting. Doesn't, moves it, misses, gets wrecked again because of the AKs doing the superior damage. This is appalling. Right? But I hate the CZ. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be in the game. And that's just awful. Messes that up. This is weird, actually. This is why am I going to... Yeah. I'm just going to do a 360 run in. So, those are the highlights. All right? Those are the highlights. Or lowlights, if you like. That are supposed to point to you that this is definitely a throw. Now, this is complete nonsense. Not... Right. That is... The jump is the worst clip out of all of those. But everything else is just bad aim. People, with it looks like bad movement, bad aim. So for me, I think there's 2 options here in terms of what happened. Yo, come back, dog. Hello? There we go. Either he's playing on a laptop. I mean, that could be one thing, and he's getting bad FPS and lag. Keep in mind, Seized as a stand-in. I don't think that's likely. Gaming laptops these days are pretty good. People saying, oh, he's drunk. Don't think we can make any determination about that. Honestly, I think the likelihood here is that they'd registered Seized as their stand-in, and then for some reason Seized couldn't play, and somebody went on that account. Because it doesn't look like Seized. At no point in the game did he pick up a secondary AWP, which Seized does a lot. The spray was really strange. It was like he would spray and hold. He seemed to be opting for the unsilenced M4 a lot over the AK. Like you saw in a lot of those T rounds. He had the M4, which doesn't really fit in with Seized. So it was a bit weird. And if I remember right, I remember Seized playing in Drop in previous iterations of Na'Vi. So there's two options here, and that is that either he did loan his account out to somebody else for whatever reason because he couldn't make the agreed time and date, or he's just dog shit now. Now, if you saw him play at the major, which I did with Flipside, he wasn't great. And honestly, I think he's having one of those like crises, you know, like you see this with some players sometimes. Where they just got no confidence in themselves. You know what I mean? Like, and they're just bad now. Like, Seized has just gone from being a good player, one of the hidden stars in the team, to being just awful. And I think that's like just a fucking reality that you might have to accept. He might just suck now. Like, it might just be a thing. But honestly, based on the playstyle, I think it's reasonable to say that maybe somebody else was on the account. Like, I don't remember him being that bad. And people saying he tweeted that he'd been awake for 30 hours. If he tweeted it, he deleted it. It's not on his Twitter feed. So,
lick my balls.
Thank you, Happy Nigel. So, I should grey some of the white in this overlay. Why? So, at the end of the day, people saying this is a definite throw, nonsense. And I'll go one further here, and I'll tell you that because I got emailed and spammed so much with it, I did reach out. Like, I've got a way. I know some people in the sports betting world and who cover esports, and they have a shared intelligence pool where if anybody sees any irregular betting patterns, what they do is they contact all the other betting sites, and you might see like games withdrawn partway through, especially Chinese games, by the way, and they contact each other, and they let everybody know that, yeah, dudes, there's probably a fix here. We've had some irregular betting patterns. Well, there were no irregular bets placed on this game, none. So, if it was a fix, if it was a rigged game, then it can only be like one or two people placed moderate bets to make money. And again, that ties into this idea that it wasn't a throw. It just wasn't a throw because if you were going to take the risk, you have to maximize the rewards, right? You don't just do one or two small bets, right, on a potentially career-ending match fix. You need to at least get rich off it, right? And you have to hope and trust in the system that your bets are going to be hidden and protected, you know? There's people out there still who bet on cash betting sites and bet on their own games still, which shouldn't be happening. And we've seen pro players openly through like HLTV just, right, well, I'm playing in a game today. I'm just going to place a bet on the game I'm playing in, which Valve have said, we don't like that at all. But they didn't say that it was banned or not. But basically, all indications in this is that it was either account sharing, C's not giving a fuck, or C's just actually, this is what C's is now. There's no bets. There's no pathology of a match fix. So all the people who have been spamming me with that all day can stop, because it's just not true. Right.